What is going on, my fellow cinephiles? I'm back with another video. Today, we're doing another review. I may be able to come up with a bunch of videos today. I don't know. I'm contemplating doing certain videos. You know, there's some trailers that came out. I'm contemplating maybe doing reactions to those. We'll see. But we're doing a review for a DC animated film, and I've been, you know, in the early stages of venturing into that because of HBO Max. They have a good library of DC animated film, and those include a lot of DC animated Batman movies. Batman being my favorite comic book character besides Dick Grayson / Nightwing. So most times when people ask me who my favorite comic book character is, I say Batman, but I also go to mention that since a lot of people say Batman, I say Dick Grayson / Nightwing. So I always like to add that nugget in there because I think Nightwing is a very underappreciated DC character, and I'll mention later how he relates to Batman Under the Red Hood in the review. So we're reviewing Batman Under the Red Hood, and this is a Batman animated film that gets a lot of praise, and I've heard about it a little, but not like recently. It's been picking up because people have been watching the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, which I highly recommend. It is a phenomenal film, one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen, and quite frankly, it's going to be up there in terms of my favorite films probably. Like I love that movie so much. Doesn't even feel like 4 hours in the least. So that has gotten people to HBO Max. So now they're kind of venturing out and looking at their library. So a lot of people have been talking about this. I've been looking at, you know, certain Drum Dums comes to mind. You know, I like his content. So he was talking about watching it, and he did a review for it. So my opinion is, if like a lot of people are praising this, and content creators I watch are like praising it and they like it and they're talking about it, I feel like I almost have to check it out. And if I have a strong opinion or an opinion where I feel like I can weigh in on something, then I'll do a review over it. And that's me with Batman Under the Red Hood. I've always been a hardcore Dick Grayson is my Robin. He's my Nightwing. He is the best of the Bat family besides obviously Batman. But I've never been in the camp that fully hated on Jason Todd. I never understood that per se. Now, obviously, I know that once he became Red Hood, he got a lot more traction, a lot more support as a character. But I've never been one of those that was like that felt that he was like a knockoff in any way, shape, or form. I feel like each iteration of Robin does bring something different to the table. And you can still prefer your favorites. You can like Jason Todd. You can like Tim Drake. You can Gary Kelly. You got Dick Grayson. Damian Wayne even. We'll get into him later. So each iteration has its own kind of like, you know, things about it. Each like plot, each little points and, you know, the uniqueness to it. So we're getting into Jason Todd's Robin, but Dick Grayson makes appearances in this as Nightwing. And Nightwing to me is probably my favorite DC character that's never gotten to see live action. Like, we need a live action Nightwing film now. And I know there's this fan series on YouTube, and it ran for one season. I've watched some. I think I've watched all of it. Yeah, it's just been a long time, so I'll probably rewatch it. It's very good. Like, it's shot well, and it looks like a TV show. It's but due to copyright reasons they got involved with Warner Bros. And DC, they can't make any more stuff, which doesn't make any sense. So Warner Bros. And DC is going to get mad at someone for doing non-profit fan films, but a film you have for Nightwing that you have been planning for at least 5 to 6 years, and it hasn't even entered production yet. It's just been in pre-production hell. You still have not given any updates or any progress towards that project, but you're going to condemn people who want to give Nightwing fans something for non-profit through Kickstarters and Indiegogos. Doesn't make any sense. But we've already covered how I feel about the Warner Bros. And some other things. And as you saw earlier in this video and in the last one, yeah, I decided to throw that little nugget back in there. I thought it was funny. Because I am in that camp of Restore the Snyderverse. But after looking into this movie, there's a lot of things I feel like I need to weigh in on that kind of surprised me. One of them is the cast list. I was shocked to learn who played Robin / Red Hood in this. And if you guys watch Supernatural a lot, that's a show I really enjoy. I'm so far behind. Like, I'm ridiculously behind. I'm in like season 3, I think. And at this point, it's been so long, I might as well just start from the beginning and watch all the way back up again. I'm more than interested to continue to watch it and finish it out. But Jensen Ackles, aka Dean from Supernatural, does the voice for Robin / Red Hood in this movie. And I was stunned by that. But, because at first it didn't sound like him. But as the movie carries on, there's certain scenes, and you can hear it. You can notice, hey, that's him. And he does a phenomenal job. I was shocked. I would never look at him and go, he's a voice actor I want for Red Hood. But he is so good. And another one that shocked me was Bruce Greenwood doing the voice acting for Batman in this movie. If one of my TikTok friends of mine, Blake, if he sees this, I know he's really into Jason O'Mara camp, and I've watched some of Jason O'Mara Batman animated stuff, and he's definitely good. But Bruce Greenwood may be my favorite voice actor to this point. He fits a perfect bridge period, in my opinion. Because my favorite iteration of Batman, if you don't know by now, is the Dark Knight Returns version, which is why I'm partial to saying Ben Affleck is my favorite live-action iteration of the character. So, seeing Bruce Greenwood's version, we're seeing kind of, in what my opinion, is a perfect bridge, almost like a transition point into that Dark Knight Returns style, and he does it, in my opinion, very well. He has a very convincing Bruce Wayne voice and Bat voice. I was stunned because I'm trying to think of all the Bruce Greenwood stuff I've watched. I know he's in The Resident, and I watch a little bit of that here and there. I used to be really into that show. And then he was in the Star Trek movies. I've seen those. And he, again, was someone that never struck me as Batman. Just like Jensen Ackles never struck me as Red Hood. But they did it well. Another thing I feel like I have to praise about this movie, it's phenomenal, amazing soundtrack. I was hooked, like the main credit song, the end credit song, and the Death in the Family tracks. I was looping them repetitively after finishing the movie yesterday. So the soundtrack for an animated film was very good. Christopher Drake is a guy, now after listening to that, I'm going to have to look at what other stuff he's done for film scores. Has he done other Batman animated films that I maybe don't know about? And check those out. And with how much I enjoy Bruce Greenwood's voice acting for Batman, I may have to watch Gotham by Gaslight tonight instead of tomorrow, because alongside with Kong vs. Godzilla, because I love his Batman so much. I wanted to watch Batman vs. Robin and continue that Damian Wayne, Jason O'Mara Batman stuff, but I'm just so much on a Bruce Greenwood Batman kick right now. And so, guys, if you're a fan of those types of iterations of Batman, Bruce Greenwood's going to be right up your alley. So, and then the pacing of this movie was awesome. Just awesome pacing. Like perfect pacing. And another thing I really enjoyed was, of course, I mentioned how we get Nightwing in this movie, but we get to see interactions between Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne. We see that. So not only are we getting Jason Todd, a snippet of Jason Todd as Robin, we get him as Red Hood. We get Dick Grayson in the movie as well as Nightwing, and to me, as a huge Nightwing fan, that is just amazing, and it works. It doesn't feel like it's tacked on at all. And so you have all of that. And I'm even forgetting the Joker. The Joker in this movie, I think, is highly underrated, guys. I don't hear people talk about John DiMaggio's performance from voice acting for Joker. He does a good quality job as Joker. I'm not saying he's number one. I'm not saying he beats Heath Ledger. I'm not saying he's on par with Joaquin Phoenix. But if there's other Joker stuff, like John DiMaggio's voiced the Joker more than just this once, I'm telling you, he would be most likely, as long as he can keep the quality, fourth or third. Like, he is a good Joker. Now, obviously, if I had to throw in the animated Jokers, Mark Hamill would be above him, but he's good, man. John DiMaggio is good. So, those are some of the easier points. Let's move on to some of the other ones, because I feel like I know I'm leaving some things out, so let's move on to the next portion of things. Another thing we're going to get into is Nightwing himself, Dick Grayson. Besides Batman, my favorite comic book character. I was mentioning how this voice acting, the voice actors are people you never would pick to play these characters, but they do such a phenomenal job that you almost would want to see them live action, but you know it probably wouldn't work, and it definitely wouldn't for this guy who did Nightwing. And it's no hate against him. He is a great actor. He just obviously wouldn't work for a live action version of Dick Grayson. But his voice was so good in the movie. Neil Patrick Harris. I said it. Neil Patrick Harris, you know, Barney from How I Met Your Mother, is Nightwing in this. He's Nightwing in this movie. And he fits it so well. I think the best performance in the movie, it's tough, man. It's like a three-way tie between Neil Patrick Harris, Bruce Greenwood, and Jensen Ackles. But honestly, this is a movie that centers on Jensen Ackles' character, so you got to give it to him. But I'm gonna go with Neil Patrick Harris because it caught me off guard that he was playing Dick Grayson. But all three of them are just absolutely phenomenal in this movie. And if any part of you is a fan of Nightwing, of Red Hood, of a transition style Batman that's almost beginning to show signs of becoming that Dark Knight Returns style, if that's what you're into, this movie is perfectly up your alley. I more than enjoyed it. I was stunned for someone that hasn't really ventured too much into the Batman animated films, and because of this and another Batman animated movie I watched that I will review later on my channel within the next few days, maybe later today, we'll see. It depends on if stuff pops up. I have to buy that massive 80th anniversary collection that has all of them. I have to, because the ones I have been watching, I've been enjoying them so well, and I know that there's just ones that are just going to get better from this point. So if I had to give it a rating on a score of 1 being the worst thing I ever watched, like I'd rather gouge my eyes out and eat them with no painkillers, and 10 being the best thing since being able to sleep and wake up without feeling tired at all, I give it an 8.8. It's not quite amazing for me because I feel that it drags a little as it approaches the middle part of the movie, but it's not too much, and then it picks right back up. And that's if I'm nitpicking. But it's not quite masterpiece level, but it was great. And with rewatches, maybe it gets to that 8.9, hovers around a 9, but it was really good. Definitely check it out if you're into those types of, you know, things that involve the Bat family, those types of storylines. You'll definitely enjoy it. And even if you're not, it's worth a try. There are a lot of people that, you know, maybe don't watch a lot of those DC animated films, but watch Under the Red Hood. It is one of the more popular entries in the DC animated film universe, and I can see why for a very good reason. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching this, and let me know if you've seen this movie, what you think about it. If you haven't, then let me know what excites you most for checking out this movie. And maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you're in a camp that didn't like the movie that much. Describe to me why. I'd love to have those discussions too, as long as we keep it civilized and we don't have to come and at each other just because you disagree about a film opinion. I've had to tell it to people multiple times over TikTok, but sometimes people just miss the memo. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Continue to have the opinions you have. It is okay. Do not let people tell you otherwise, alright? See you in the next one, guys.